I just posted something some hours ago, and I've been receiving so many mails, and a lot of people have, launched attacks on me, accusing me of trying to stir up unnecessary panic or fear, or even war. Okay, fine. I mean, it's okay. We all have our opinion. I mean, you have the right to say what you want to say. Fine, I have no problem with that. But the issue is this. You have a problem with the truth is your problem, because the truth has to be told. Now, I'm not trying to stir up anything or trying to say something that is not existing. Open your brand eyes. Look around you. Look around you, and then you will see the signs. It's not like because I'm saying something that is not there already. I'm saying something that you yourself know. But you are afraid of admitting it, that there is a problem, and that this problem will get out of control, and then you are afraid of admitting it. And it's not particular about America. It's not just only in America. We know it is everywhere. You see, over the years, these people has been fighting against us, but indirectly. For example, we know that the AIDS crisis and the Ebola crisis in Africa were man-made, and we know it was targeted to. It was a direct attack on Africans to reduce their population. This is war. When millions or thousands of people are dying, it is war. It is war. It does not matter whether you use a gun or you use another form to eliminate them, it is war. You can still poison their food, you can still poison their water. So these people we are already on war. They are attacking us. But what I'm talking about now is the literal war, the war that you and I know. The one that people pick up arms and then go out to fight. And this is what I'm saying, because it is not just only there in US. I mean, it's everywhere. It's all around us. The same thing that is happening to the Arabians. The way that you see them now, they are fighting against themselves, and every small opportunity they will create an avenue for them to have a city or two to bomb. And when these wars come up, it's not because of the bad government. The man you're talking about that is a bad leader is only one person, but because of him, 6 million, 7 million people have died. Why? Because the target is not the man, the target is the people, and the man is still there. Okay, for example, Syria. The man is still there, and at the end of the day, nothing will happen to him. But what they are targeting is to reduce these numbers, because these people are the problem, not the man. But they need an excuse to step in. And many nations have denied them that. So you need to understand the way these people operate. They are very, 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 very smart, and they are good at what they do. It does not matter what you say. It does not matter how you look at it. You might see it as a normal thing, but it is not normal. These things has been well calculated, planned, programmed to look natural, and then you buy it. You buy it because to you it can happen. But why is it not happening in Europe? Why is it not happening in the West? Why is it only in the Asian areas and also in Africa that we have this conflict? Why is it that it is happening in most places that there are a lot of benefits? I mean, interest, especially what they will get materially and whatever. Why is it not happening in places that there is nothing? It's happening in areas that have significant, nature. Why is it happening? Why is it happening? And still yet you think there is nothing fishy about it? That is, these things are not programmed? They are programmed. And that is the same thing now, because the target is not just only the blacks in Africa. The target also is the blacks in both outside Africa and inside Africa. And that is what they are doing. So when I talk, I'm not trying to stir up fear. I'm not trying to stir up hatred. I'm not trying to make you to become afraid of what you shouldn't be afraid of. No, I'll be the last person to create fear in you. I'd rather build up confidence in you. But I want you to know what is around you. That's why I say open your brand eyes. Look around you. See your environment. And then don't just relax and say he's making noise. It could be noise. But then why don't you investigate? Look around you. It won't cost you anything. Look around you. Ask questions. Then question certain issues. Be sensitive to your environment. And then you will understand that there is an atmosphere that is being created. And as it is growing, as it is developing, it will end up to a place where it will blow and it will lose control. But the question is this: when it will happen, how will you be? Will you be prepared? or will you be taken unawares? That is the question. That is why we say that when I say there is war, I'm not asking you to pick up arms. I'm asking you to get ready. Prepare yourself for the worst. We are hoping for the best, but prepare yourself for the worst because it will happen. You are dealing with people that have no conscience at all. That have no conscience at all. That have nothing to offer you. They have no conscience. They say you don't have a soul, but they are the people that don't have a soul. They have no conscience whatsoever. They have no conscience. Their ego and what they think they have achieved will not allow them to reason like normal human beings. And they are ready to strike you at any point and at any time. So I might be making noise, but it's up to you. What to believe is up to you. But what I'm saying is this: be prepared. That is the most important thing. Be prepared. I'm not asking you to hear me or to agree with me. You might disagree with me, but for your own sake, get prepared. It's going to happen. But like I've said it, if we are operating in a separate form, we may lose the battle. Many of us are talking about how great and how big our ancestors are, the great civilization they built. They did not build it being divided. They united and erected those structures. They united and became great. They fought together. They worked together. We are individually, we are powerful people. Separately, we are powerful. But if we come together, we'll be stronger. We are stronger together. And why I am calling this is that it's not like each and every one of us cannot operate independently. But if we do it, which message are we sending? Let us have one voice, one focus, one destination. The issue is this: there is a common threat. And let us deal with this common threat. Because what affects you affects me. Whether you like it or not, and what affects me affects you. Like I said, if we don't have an African superpower, the world will never respect us. Obama has been there for 8 years, he's about to leave, and still yet the man of color is treated the same, even worse. It makes no difference. But not until we have what we say, this is us. Not until we have an African superpower, they will never respect us. Look at Asia. You cannot. The issue is this: we can say what we want to say, but they want to see something, and what we show them is what they see. What we show them is what they see. That is why we are speaking against certain issues, especially when it comes to our own community. We are talking about children having to grow under a father. I have respect and love for so many single mothers, but yet the position of the man is always and will always be important in the raising of the child. I mean, the family structure has to be complete. Whether he is going to end up with 2 or 3 or 4 wives, that is between the family, the woman and the man and the man involved to decide, or whether he is going to have a single wife. But the father, the man, is important. The man is important. If he is disabled, if he is able, his presence is important. And that is the area we have to go back to what we are, who we are, before these people came into our life and begin to teach us this their culture that has not benefited us. And they themselves are not even practicing it. They know that what they brought for us was a destructive pattern, and they allowed us to embrace it, and they are telling you it is good. It doesn't matter. We know that many people have embraced it because of the financial benefit. There is no financial benefit. The money they are giving you is not enough for you to sell or offer your family at the altar of welfare. It makes no sense. The issue is this: we are Africans, and we need to understand that for us to be the stronger community, we may fight them, we may defeat them in war, but we need to remove this their mentality off our head. This their culture. There is no moral in it. We cannot live like them and expect to overcome them. We have our way. Our way of life is good, but we need to understand that everything we borrowed from them. I mean, this issue of an independent woman. There is no woman that is reasonable today that is independent. Once you are independent, that means automatically you have cut yourself out from nature. The way it is meant was that you need, whether you like it or not, it does not matter how you try to pretend, you need a man in your life. Nobody works in isolation. You as a man, you need a woman in your life. Nobody works in isolation. If you want two, if you want three, but the issue is that you need to work. We have to work as a community. We have to work as a family. It's not about an individual progress. It is we coming together to progress. That is why we need people, the blacks in America, we need the blacks in Africa, we need the blacks in Europe, we need the blacks in Asia. We need to come together and fight this common battle. There is no isolation here. We don't have to separate ourselves. Families don't separate. Families unite. They unite and they fight. That is why in a family there must be the head, the male structure, the woman structure, and then the children. So that when they need a father, somebody, there will be somebody there to represent that man factor. That when they need a woman, a mother, that is a woman there to represent that female factor. And we don't need to separate them. If you work in isolation or in because divorce is what is ready now, and people think is a good thing. Yeah, it's good for you. It's good for the man. You are free. It's good for the woman. You are free. But what about the children? It is telling on them, because when two elephants fights, it is only the grass that suffers. And these are the things we are not considering. And that is what is happening to us as a people today. Because our leaders are robbing us, stealing from us. To them is good. They are doing the best and they are building for their families. But then who is suffering? It is the image of the African man. It is the common man in African society that is suffering. That is what also happened between two parents. When they divorce, the children suffer. It doesn't matter how much you give them. You've killed them psychologically, you've killed them emotionally. It does not matter how you try to show them love. But the issue is that for the fact that their father is missing in their life, or a mother is missing in their life, it kills them. It makes the child to be half of, even not up to half of what the child should have been in life. We have to work on this, and that is why we Africans need to come together. There is nothing, we don't have to separate ourselves. It doesn't matter how you think, where you think you come from, whether you are a Native American or you are born in Africa and you grow in Africa. No, it doesn't matter where you come from. We know that every African came out from behind the rivers of Nile, and we know that our civilization is what these people are enjoying. So for us to get back to our place of authority, we all have to come together. I am not starting to stir up war. I am only trying to awaken you. I'm not teaching you what I know you know, or maybe you don't know, but I'm trying to awaken you, to put your mind in the place it should be, so that you be awakened, and then we can pursue this goal together.